Record, we are live. All right, welcome to today, November 11th. This is not one of our standard collective calls. This is a all access public call for basically anybody who wants to join. So what we're doing in this call, I am not teaching anything. We are hopping right into hot seat style Q&A. So essentially what that means is we just talk about whatever the hell you guys want to talk about. So everybody should be muted right now. So the way we proceed, if you have a question, there's either a little hand icon somewhere that you can click to ask a question. I'm going to turn that entry time off. You can either click on the little hand icon to ask a question, type the word question in the chat window, and I'll find you and I'll unmute you. I'd like to ask everybody to stay muted, unless of course you're the one asking the question. If I don't see your hand up, if I don't see the little question word in the chat box, if you're on video, feel free to wave. Hopefully we'll get to you and hopefully we'll get all the questions answered over the next 90 minutes. So you guys ready for some fun? Yeah, does anybody want to kick it off? So whoever's got a question, Emer, you're quick on the draw.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm very good. I'm very good.
Good.
Quick question. Yeah.
Before you get into the question really quick, I'm going to let everybody know that I'm going to get straight to the point with a lot of the questions, just because there's a lot of people on the call and we're going to want to get through as many questions as possible. So I'm going to try to keep things running as quickly and as smoothly as possible. Sorry, Amir, go ahead.
Okay. So previously, I would have struggled with paying bills, and I would have maybe griped about it and given out about it. And then I joined the collective beginning of September and I have let that go. But what I'm finding now is my sister, friends, they're presenting doing exactly what I used to do.
Okay.
And I don't know why that is.
Okay.
And is it mirroring where I could possibly go back to, or what?
Okay.
And
so in a nutshell, you found yourself in lack mentality, you joined the collective, we got you out of that lack mentality, but now you're seeing that lack mentality in other people.
Yes.
And it's probably kind of weighing on you in some way.
Oh, it is. And it's really irritating.
Okay.
And yeah.
So do you feel responsible for them in their financial situation?
No.
Okay.
At all.
And so the emotion it brings up is irritation, frustration, anger.
Yeah, and I'm frustrated because I keep saying that what they're complaining about is that they're getting great value, they're getting a service, and all they're doing is paying for the service, but yet they feel they shouldn't be paying for the service. Now, I know I potentially was like that before, but I've stopped that completely. And I'm doing it with joy. I'm paying all those bills with joy.
Okay.
And I don't want to be that person. It's a bit like somebody who gave up smoking and they become, I know everything. I don't want to do that.
Well, here's the thing. So you used to be in their shoes and now you're not, right?
Yes. Yes.
And the reason you're not is because you got into the collective and you expanded your awareness.
Yes.
And now you've got a new awareness that lack mindset doesn't serve.
Yes.
Right? So those people who are still in that lack mindset, the only reason they are still in that lack mindset is they just don't know any better. They just don't have the awareness that you've gained, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But how do I stop being dragged back into it?
So
because I feel I just want to make them feel better. So I just...
Okay, and in what way are you getting dragged into it? So you got...
Maybe acquiescing to it, or, telling,
So you're hearing them vent
agreeing with them.
Okay. So can you get off the topic?
I try. I do try.
Okay.
But I think a lot of people are happy when they're miserable, and I don't particularly like that.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, they have the choice. They have the freedom to choose to be as miserable and as lack-minded as they want to be. Right?
Yes.
They have that. Yeah. Even if they have the awareness that it doesn't serve them, they're still allowed to choose it, right? Just like somebody who's angry has the choice to be an angry person. So they have the choice to choose a lack mindset, but you also have the choice to decide not to feed into it, to decide, you know what, you have your lack mindset, but I don't need to listen to it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I would say maybe for you, it might be a boundary issue and maybe like a fear.
I think it is. And I feel I just don't want to be around that kind of toxic stuff at the moment. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there might be some deeper work to do there around feeling responsible for them.
Mm.
Right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
especially from a financial standpoint, we often feel like we're responsible for other people. A common question I get is, oh, you know, my sister's in trouble. She needs $50,000. I don't know if I should loan her the money or not. Right? What do I do? And the reality is if that person is in a place where they can't manifest the money, even if you give them the money, it's still not going to serve them. It's still not going to serve its purpose, right? If
Yes.
somebody's in lack, there's nothing you can do to help them experience a different physical reality experience because it's got to reflect the vibration they're putting out, which is lack, right?
Yes.
That's one of the reasons people have such a hard time overcoming the money problem is because they're addressing it from the wrong place. They're addressing it from out here, trying to
Yeah.
solve it out here when it's not an out here problem. It's an in here problem, and an in here problem.
Okay.
And the more you vibrate in the vibration of abundance, the
Yeah.
longer you hold steady in the vibration of abundance, the
Yeah.
more your physical reality is going to gain more momentum, the more
Yeah.
you experience abundance and wealth, and they're
Yeah.
going to take notice.
Yeah. I suppose I'm just afraid that those people are presenting to me. And is that testing my vibration or my alignment?
No, not if you don't let it in.
Okay.
Right?
So that's their stuff. It's not my stuff.
Perfect affirmation to use.
Okay.
They have no power over you, over your vibration and your ability to attract wealth.
Yes. I'm getting there. That's, yeah. Okay. Good. Excellent. Thank you.
Great topic. Thanks.
Thank you. Cheers.
All right. Next question. Clicking through. I don't see any hands up in the group. I see CG, you've got the word question. CG, where are you holding out? And again, I'd like to ask everybody to keep their microphones muted unless you're specifically talking to me. CG, are you there?
Yes, hi everybody.
Hey CG, how you doing?
Good. So I'm facing like a matter that really is very dear to me. I'm having this huge clash with my mother for the past month, and
Yeah.
I've been doing, you know, the second course of the collective, which was the emotions and indicator exercise.
Yes,
You know,
how to dig through how to identify and release your resistance. Yes.
yeah, you know, I feel this way because, you know, what must I feel? It's true to feel this way and so on. But for some reason, I don't know, I feel like I am not succeeding on the exercise because I'm still at the same place.
Okay.
I
So
think at the same time, I'm happy about this decision that I took with my mom. And it's not that I need to have the approval of other people, but the two main, I would say, members of our family that are really like, you know, healthy in their mind and so on, understand totally that I am taking my stand. However, you know, it hurts at the same time because I'm glad I'm taking my stand, but there's this dialogue of it hurts because it's my mother, because she doesn't care, because da-da-dee-da-da-dee-da-da-da. So how can I don't want to change her. She has her way of thinking and I have mine. But how can I, you know, bring the right vibration, the right energy into all that?
yeah, and this is a common question. So the question I hear a lot is, how do I stop other people from lowering my vibe? Right? And the main answer to that is that, you know, when somebody else is lowering vibe, you've basically got three options. Option number one, move away, go live in a cave, don't tell them where you are, right? So exit from society. That's the first option to stop people from lowering your vibe. Option number two is change everybody around you so that they become the person you want them to be or you need them to be so they no longer lower your vibe. That's option number two. And of course, options number one and two are not very feasible options, right? Option number three, it's not about changing them. It's always about changing you. So it's never a circumstance that lowers your vibe. It's never another person that lowers your vibe.
Mm-hmm.
It's your perspectives and the emotions you carry about those people and those circumstances. So CG, right now you're butting your head against your mom, right? You and your mom are butting heads?
Oh yes, totally.
Yes. And how does the head butting make you feel?
Well, I mean, it's
What's the one emotion that comes up when you think about that circumstance?
well, it makes me feel miserable.
Okay. Can you give me a more, so, okay, so let's try this. So what must I believe is true to feel miserable? So I feel miserable because,
Well, I'm in between two things, but I'm miserable because I'm making a choice of how to respect myself, and at the same time, I'm losing my mother.
okay, so I feel miserable because I'm displeasing mom. Yes?
I guess.
Yeah. And are you displeasing your mom, or is your mom choosing a perspective that allows herself to be displeased?
That's very deep. Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Sure. So are you what's displeasing your mom? Is it you, or is it the perspectives your mom is choosing?
I have no idea.
It's the perspective she's choosing. She's choosing to be displeased. Agreed?
She's
Displeasure.
choosing to be displeased.
Displeasure is always a choice. I can be displeased that I'm drinking out of a pink cup right now, but I'm not. I don't give a crap, right? Displeased is an emotion you feel due to a perspective you choose. Agreed?
Yeah, but right now, it's by saying that she's um,
Do you agree with me that she's choosing to be displeased?
well, that is hard for me to answer because I would answer her. I would answer for her. I don't know. Maybe she's very happy about the choice she made.
Okay, so what's the problem then?
The problem is that I feel miserable from my point of taking the stand that I took.
And that makes me feel miserable because mom's not happy?
No, because I don't respect my choice.
Why don't you respect your choice?
Because I've been somehow her mother since I'm a little girl, and I've always taken care of her. And
Okay. And is it your responsibility as an adult to take care of her as an adult?
no,
Okay, so can you let that go? I mean, you can choose between your happiness or her happiness. Which one's more
I'm
important?
choosing mine. I'm definitely choosing mine today.
Okay, so I would work through the beliefs that make you believe that it's not okay to choose your own happiness.
Okay, and how can I do that on my own?
Practice the perspectives. What's the perspective I'm choosing that makes me believe that I shouldn't put myself first?
Okay.
Because you came here to live life for you. Every single person on this call, you came here to live life for you. And if other people are putting the responsibility of their own happiness on your shoulders, then there's some boundary work that needs to be done there. Right? As soon as you see somebody else who you believe is in need of you, you're disempowering the perspective that you're taking among them. Everybody has the full ability to achieve anything, but they can't do it if they don't see their power. Right? Our entire call on the collective last week was about stepping into your power. The difference between attracting your reality and creating your reality. And the more you step into your power as a creator, the happier you're going to be and the less blocks are going to be able to impact you. Straight up. Is this helping, CG?
Yes, I guess I'm going to work on effectively on working on putting myself first.
Yeah, you're doing the right process. So keep asking that question. What's the negative emotion and what must I believe is true to feel that way? And what must I believe instead? And then practice the new perspective. And we can hash out away at it some more on the next call too.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you. Hey, Anya, go ahead.
Okay. Hi, Nick.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, good. So I have a question about staying in alignment when, okay, so it's again, we have winter, it's my slow season coming. And
It's only a slow season because you believe it's going to be a slow season, but keep going.
winter doesn't help. But yes, it's like I know theoretically, I know it. And then I follow my highest excitement, and then the thoughts keep coming, limiting thoughts. And okay, I know that this is just my mind chatter, but it's just so insistent. And if you have anything.
I know exactly. So essentially what you're asking is, how do I make this the most abundant winter I've ever had in terms of clients? Yes?
Yes, clients work, yes.
Okay, so in the call last week in the collective, we talked about canvases. So
about what?
Canvases that you paint on, like a canvas.
Yeah.
Like on like the lion behind me, a canvas like that. So right now we all have two canvases. There's a canvas behind you. That canvas represents your past and what you're currently looking at. Okay? That's the canvas of the past. That's where you've already been. That's your current reality because it's already painted. You've already experienced it. In front of you is an empty canvas, a blank canvas. That blank canvas, that represents where you're going next. Okay? What most people are doing, the process of creating your reality, you're going to experience what you paint on that canvas next. Okay? What you're painting on that canvas will become your reality. What most people are doing is they're just looking at the old canvas and they're painting the exact same thing on the new canvas. Right? What's on this here? Oh, I'm going to paint that there. What's on this here? Oh, I'm going to express that onto this canvas. That's what everybody's doing by default. I call that the current reality loop. You're just taking the old thing, you're expressing that same thing onto the new canvas. How do we express onto the new canvas? We express how we feel, our emotions. This is our attraction point. Our emotions, our beliefs, and where we put our focus. Every time you express the belief, winter is slow for me, you're plopping that on the future canvas. Every time you feel the emotion, oh, there's gonna be some lack coming up, it's wintertime, there's less business, you're plopping that on the new canvas, right? Abe uses the term sloppy thinker, right? So you need to start flexing your creation muscle. And this is part of the reason I like the concept of creating rather than attracting. You need to express onto the new canvas a new creation, okay? You need to work that muscle and start putting all of your focus on all of the clients that you have, all the clients you're gonna start having. You literally need to paint a new reality, a new picture. Does that make sense?
Yes, and I've been doing that, I think. Because I have some, my mind has some ideas what can be done in winter, and it seems like it might be even.
To me, that sounds like you're trying to figure it out.
Yes, you're right.
Right?
So how do I paint without figuring it out?
Okay, so what would be the ideal client load for this winter? Can you just throw a theoretical number at me? 20 a month?
I would love to have, I would love to photograph 2 retreats a month.
Okay.
Some spiritual retreats for people who run them.
Perfect. So tomorrow somebody hires you to do 3 a month for the next 6 months. Okay?
Yeah.
How does that version of Anya feel?
Feels good.
What's really successful?
Yes.
What's the emotion that come up when you think that thought?
Like internal peace.
Okay. That's what you need to tune into. That's what you need to start expressing onto your new canvas. Because every time you express the emotion of resistance, of tenseness, of lack, you're putting that on the new canvas. So you can't experience that version of Anya if you don't start feeling like that version of Anya who already has those clients. Make sense?
So there is an additional element because I practice, and then I live with my husband who also has slow season.
Yeah.
And he also knows all this stuff, but he's way more into doing, figuring out approach. And
Yeah.
we are like 24/7, you know, together.
Okay.
How do I separate myself from?
One in alignment is more powerful than a million who are not, correct?
Yes.
So if you don't allow your husband's behavior to impact you, then you can let him do his thing. He's not stopping you from manifesting. He's not stopping you from
He's
choosing
not.
relief. Right?
Yeah.
You are a powerful creator. Everybody on this call is. And everybody on this call knows that. The issue is we're not stepping into that power and we're not exercising it. And it's, you know, it's okay because we're all still learning. I'm still learning. But the first step is awareness. And the second step is the application of that awareness. And that's why so many people are living the collective, is because week after week we get on these calls and we help you hash it out and we make sure you're staying on track. Right? So your next step is saying, okay, that version of Anya who's got all these bookings, how does she feel? How does she think? What actions is she taking? And it's about you stepping into that person right here, right now, and holding that embodiment as much as you can. And over time, if you can hold that embodiment from a resistance-free place, your whole reality is going to reshape around you.
And it's interesting because tomorrow I'm going to schedule a call with people who do have retreat center and they run them. So, and yeah, they reached out. So who knows? Awesome.
You've got to choose it. As a creator, choose, right? I've been in the hot seat 9 times with Abe. And when I asked her, I said, why is it so easy for me to get in the hot seat? There's less than 1 or 2% chance of getting in the hot seat. And she said, because of your certainty, right? Because you have your level of conviction, right? I don't put my hand up and go, oh, pick me, and let you pick me. I put my hand up and I say, okay, it's my turn now, I'm right here. That's how you want to manifest. That's what you need to do. You need to choose it and have laser focus on that desire and hold it.
I remember with the hot seat though, you sharing that you were giving, like you were giving up, like, okay, I don't care. And then she was selecting you.
Yes, I'm still very detached. I'm not sitting there go, oh, she better pick me. I hope she picks me, right? I have to get in the hot seat. It's not like that. I'm chill. I'm kicked back in my seat. I'm like, all right, my turn now. I'm right here. Right? But if she doesn't pick me, I'm cool. Make sense?
So yeah, so strong desire but low attachment.
Absolutely. And choosing. Choose. Choose with conviction. I create my reality. I can choose this. I can experience this. It's the art of creation, not the art of attraction.
Okay, so this is kind of new for me, but thank you. Thank you.
Thanks. Great conversation. All right, go ahead, Vicky.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, hi. So Nick, I've been studying the law of attraction now for around maybe 2 years, not so much in depth as recently. And I feel that I've learned how to manifest or to attract some things, but to a very small scale. So I can't say I've manifested abundance. I'm manifesting in the areas I want. I'm manifesting just what I need, nothing more.
Yeah.
In all areas. And I don't know how to make this next step to say, well, where's the abundance? You know, I don't, am I supposed to walk around acting and telling myself I'm a millionaire? Because I'm not.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things to look at in that question. So one of the biggest things that most people are missing are lack of vibrational consistency. So instead of being up here and stable in your alignment, most people are kind of bouncing in and out of it like this, right? So essentially what happens is when we're born up here because alignment is our natural state. Over time, we pick up negative emotions, false perspectives. Those things weigh us down, right? People who start to study self-help, law of attraction, they're taking all of these efforting actions to work their way back up to here, right? So they're meditating, they're doing affirmations, they're doing positive aspect lists, they're doing focus wheels. But when you look at the AID community, when you look at most people who study LOA, alignment is effort. It takes half an hour every morning, an hour every morning. So what's happening is people are efforting back up to here, right? They're trying to get up into alignment, even though this is always pulling at them. So the end result is you bounce in and out of alignment rather than consistently up here. So
That's it.
what I tell people is the number one key to a high level of success is you need to deal with this shit, because until you deal with this shit, alignment's not going to be effortless. Once you deal with this, alignment is so much easier and you're up here and you're stable all the time. So that's one thing to look at. Second, the difference between an amateur manifestor and a professional manifestor is your ability to rely on the mechanism of synchronicity. Most people are so busy trying to get everything done themselves because they're not relying on the mechanism. They're not letting that mechanism of synchronicity take care of the moving parts to allow things to happen, right? And you know, it's a normal thing to do because we've got fears about lack, we've got fears around money, and that pushes into effort, and this pushes us into action because most people don't truly understand how powerful that mechanism really is, right?
Yeah.
So those are two things that come to mind. And the third thing is what Anya and I just talked about, where most people are so busy observing their lack, they're so busy observing what's there, what's not here. They're so busy trying to figure it out. Anytime you try to figure out how to make a manifestation happen, you're noticing the absence of that manifestation. What happens? Propagates the cycle, right?
Yeah.
That's why Abe says joy is the key, because if you're really in a happy state, you're so in the now that you're not noticing that that stuff isn't there.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I'm absolutely doing what you said in the first one. It's the consistency. I mean, I can even feel it, you know, I can feel the difference. So it's like there's no going back for me now, because I know when I am in alignment, and I know when I'm manifesting, when it's going well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I need to try and keep this consistent.
Yeah, and the big thing to do is work through the emotion. So for me, when I work with clients, it's typically for 3 months, and literally 90% of that work is clearing work. The very second call we did in the collective, and that recording is in there, was how to effectively deal with these sources of resistance, which is what CG and I did a little bit of, which is asking that question, what must I believe is true to feel that way, and working through the perspectives that are responsible for those emotions.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be a very long conversation. Thanks for bringing that up. Go ahead, Zanab.
Hi, Nick.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good.
Good.
Yeah, my question about unwanted emotions. If I'm feeling fears or sadness, anger, and at the same time, I know that I'm a creator, so I'm not an attractor. So how believing that I'm a creator and I'm creating my reality can help me to deal with these emotions, or do I still need to clear also these emotions?
Yes. So essentially what we're talking about is creating against the contrast, right? Mm-hmm. So when contrast shows up in our life, our gut response is, oh shit, this sucks. This is the worst thing ever. How could I let this happen? How do I get myself out of this? And the more we perceive contrast, the bigger we perceive contrast, the harder it is to work our way out of it. So my first tip when it comes to contrast is acknowledging I created something I do not prefer. Look at that, right? Call it a preference, right? It's a non-preference. Whoops, I created something I don't prefer. Okay, what do I do prefer instead? Oh, I prefer this other thing instead. That's where I'm going to put my focus. That's what I'm going to work on creating next. Does that help a little bit, Zinab?
Yeah. Yeah. So this is what I can tell myself, like. Okay.
So you're not confident in your ability to create what you want. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. And when it comes to contrast and I'm feeling these unwanted emotions, I feel like why I created this.
Yeah. So I would say the first thing is acknowledging that no matter what the circumstance is, I still have the power to choose my point of focus. Would you agree to that?
Can you forget? Yeah.
You always have the choice to decide what your point of focus is going to be. So right now in this moment, if you want to think about pink Superman cups, you can think about a pink Superman cup, correct?
I can't think about it.
Yeah. Or if you want to think about a nice, cute, furry sloth, you can think about a sloth, correct?
Yeah.
I don't know why people think sloths are so cute, by the way. People, I don't know. So you have the ability to choose your point of focus in any given moment, right? What's going to end up on your brand new canvas? The canvas that you're currently painting, the canvas of your future, what's going to end up on that?
What I am focusing on.
Absolutely. So when you focus on cute, cuddly sloths, how do you feel?
I feel happy.
Good. So would you say you're painting happy things onto your future canvas?
Yeah.
Okay. Now this contrasting circumstance that you're worried about and you're fearful about, do you know what you prefer instead?
Yeah, I prefer to make it easier.
Okay, so you have clarity on what you want to manifest instead of this non-preference, yes?
Yes.
Good. When you think about this preferred state, this preferred manifestation, how does that make you feel? What emotions does it bring up for you?
Relief.
Relief, good. I could feel the relief as you said that.
Yeah.
Okay? That feeling of relief that you just tuned into right now, that's your ticket. So you as your creator, what you want to practice is that feeling of relief. Anything you can do to practice that feeling of relief and practice the expectation that this feeling of relief is going to take me where I want to go. I mean, to be honest, nobody's going to wake up tomorrow morning and be 100% fully confident that they're the creator of their reality. That comes with life experience. Life experience is the only thing that can build that level of trust. So my tip for building the trust is spend a little bit of time every day noticing the synchronicities you've experienced. Notice the things you've experienced in your life that show you that life is magical and that those things can happen, while at the same time practice tuning into that feeling of relief as much as you can.
Yes, great.
Does that help?
Yeah, very much. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Good. See you on next week's call.
Yeah, see you.
Bye. All right, any other hands up? Kristen, I see you've got your hand up. Go ahead, Kristen.
Hi, Nick. Can you hear me?
Yeah, how you doing?
Okay, good. So I guess some of my questions have been answered just listening to you guys talk, but for me, it's always just these toxic emotions behind finances. I've read this stuff and followed you, and I've been in this for years, but yet the finances are not budging. And I kind of go in and out of alignment, and it's almost like the fear is so intense. And it just seems to overtake me, and then it requires so much focus and meditation to try to raise my vibration and lift myself out of that it feels kind of like a full-time job. So I guess I'm kind of looking for practical tips or advice of, you know, when you're saying 90% of it is clearing, you know, in the last conversation. So that's kind of hitting home for me right now.
Yeah, that's what I think Vicky was talking about, where we talked about how, you know, everybody's pushing against their negative emotions, right? So I want to explain how negative emotions work to you guys. So let's say at the age of 10, you get home from school and you failed your first test. You've always gotten straight A's, and for some reason you failed a test. And you get home and you've got that really judgmental, criticizing mom, and your mom looks at the test and she's like, oh, how could you? You should have done better. You should have studied harder. Go to your room. In that moment, that 10-year-old you, the first thing that happens is a belief pops up. Wow, I did everything I could. I still couldn't please my mom. I'm just not good enough. First, the belief shows up. Once the belief shows up, then the negative emotion shows up. Because as Abe says, the negative emotion is the indicator. It's your guidance system. The negative emotion is telling you that that perspective is there. Now, what everybody is doing, they're trying to boost positive emotions to compensate for this negative emotion. Right? And that's why it's so much effort and why you have to do it every day again and again and again. And even if you're really good at your morning practice, even if you get that positive emotion higher than that negative emotion, you do feel good enough, energetically, you're still always pushing against it, right? And it's still sitting in your attraction point. That's why identifying these emotions, the perspectives behind them, which is in that collective call where you use those key probing questions, is so important, because once you identify these perspectives and invalidate them, those emotions, those fears will go away. Does that make sense?
It does, very much so, yes.
Now, on the topic of money, number one, the very first thing I tell people on the topic of money is stop trying to work your way out of lack and instead work your way into wealth. Because most people are trying to work their way out of debt. And every time you give focus to lack, you're propagating that cycle. So what you want to do instead is put your focus on wealth, on where you do want to be. So set some financial goals on the positive side and start putting all your focus towards achieving that rather than working out of something. Does that make sense?
It does. And would you recommend like small things that make sense that you can kind of grasp, with smaller goals?
Most people want to manifest $100 million bank account.
Right.
But to go from 0 to 100 million, that's a big vibration to jump for most people.
Right.
So what I tell people is aim for the amount that brings a certain level of ease and comfort and doesn't feel too far off. And as you start manifesting those amounts, you can start growing that number more and more as your confidence grows.
So would you recommend that I do some clearing work, obviously, some emotional?
Yeah, I mean, there's not a single person on this planet that doesn't need clearing work.
Right, yeah.
That's always, that's the number one answer for everything.
Yeah, it is. No, I really enjoy your work, Nick. Thank you very much.
I appreciate your kind words. Thank you. All right, I see Zara, you've got your hand up. Go ahead, Zara. Oh, you're still muted. You're gonna have to unmute yourself if you're not. There we go.
Hi. Yeah, I'm just listening to everyone. It seems to be, it's just all resistance. You were the first person that I listened to, a big Abe fan. So you did say you've got to clear out what's underneath. That's why you can't go further. So I actually did all that work and I've seen massive shifts now. So what I just want to say to everybody else is the resistance is you've actually expanded beyond your current level. So you just need to go towards that you need to just lean over there instead of sitting in the current place that you're at where the limiting beliefs are at. And those limiting beliefs are probably just like things like, oh, what about this and what about that? You've got to like move beyond that. And
that's the self-help journey. So it doesn't matter if you come to this from law of attraction or to get over relationship breakups or anything. The entire journey as a human and in self-help is discovering who you really are. It's about returning to your authenticity. It's about discovering how powerful of a creator you really are. And that entire journey is about peeling away these layers of false beliefs.
It is, and it's a journey because a lot of us as well want instant, and it's a journey. You've got to go through it. So I would just say to everybody as well, be gentle with yourself. Stop beating yourself up all the time. Like you can't. Don't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Consistency is key. Right? There's no matter how many beliefs you clear tomorrow, I can almost guarantee there's going to be more beliefs the day after that, the day after that, the day after
exactly.
that.
We're always expanding. It's like what you think you want, it's not actually, because once you get there, it's always, so be patient with yourself, just go follow your intuition and do what you love, because if you're not doing what you love, you're not in the right vibe anyway.
Yeah.
Do you think
Expansion. Something I talked about on the call last week is expansion is a continuous process. It's always ongoing. And your inner being is going to drive you to experiences that are expansive. So the number one way that our inner being tries to guide us is through excitement. So when something excites you, that's where your inner being is trying to push you towards. But it's
Yeah,
also
it's like
going to push you towards things that have a little bit of discomfort, right? Because that discomfort is what's going to trigger those beliefs, right? You need that discomfort.
the limiting beliefs have got to come up.
Sorry,
Those limiting beliefs have come up.
They have to come up. That's part of the process.
They've got to come up. So that's what everyone's saying in here. Oh, I feel so like annoyed. I feel so frustrated. But that's all your limiting beliefs coming up because you've expanded. So you've just got to look at them and say, thank you, I see you. Just validate it, love it, let it go. And everyone always says, how do you let go of a limiting belief? You just got to acknowledge it and you've got to sit in it. And it'll dissolve and it'll go away. And it's that as simple as that.
Yeah, the key thing is here are the key questions you want to ask, and we use these in the collective a lot. What must I believe is true to feel this way? Right? Whenever negative emotion comes up, what must I believe is true to feel this way? And the second way to phrase that is I feel this way because. Those are the key probing questions to use in the face of negative emotions. That'll help you gain the awareness of what perspectives you're choosing and that you need to change. Now it's a little bit, there's a little bit more to it because of the way emotions are layered and perspectives are layered and stuff. I'm not going to get into all that on this call, but start with those baseline questions.
Yeah, it's a basic understanding of that, and see once you kind of grasp that, you can move forward. Nick, it was definitely because of you that I went to the next level, because you said you need to, and it's to do with like the inner child healing and all that. There's a lot, but see if people can kind of, if that resonates with anyone now, research it and do it.
Awesome, thank you, Zach. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. And one last thing to add on top of that too is you don't have to be afraid of this stuff. A lot of people are afraid of their negative emotions. They're afraid that they're going to unlock this giant elephant of problems, and that's not the case at all, right? There's all the time I hear with people, oh, this feels like it's impossible to clear. I have yet to come across a belief or a negative emotion that's impossible to clear, right? If something is not clearing, if something keeps coming back, you haven't fully gotten to the root cause of what's holding it in place. It's as simple as that. Yeah, go ahead, Cam. I see you got your hand up there really quick. I got you unmuted. Oh, hang on, you're muted again. Just wait. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, so mine is with detachment of results. So as you know, I have been really accelerating and actioning and feeling really good and feeling like I'm in inspired action. Right. And then I get impatient with results.
Yeah.
And then I can feel it. I can feel the energy starting to weigh down and feelings of disappointment. And it's like, I don't want to get back here again.
So do you remember what I said on the call last week about the gods of manifestation?
No, remind me because I missed it.
Okay. So the gods of manifestation know whether you're doing something to achieve a result or whether you're doing something because it's inspired and because it feels good, right? So whenever I hear somebody talk about having a hard time detaching, and we talked about this last week too, the statement I like and the statement that feels really good for me is stop waiting for it. Just choose to stop waiting for it. I'm not going to wait for this thing anymore.
Just
right?
keep
doing. Keep doing what feels good. Keep following your excitement. But if we're attached to an outcome, in some way, my belief is that we're still noticing that thing's not here yet, that thing's not here yet, that thing's not here yet, that thing's not here yet. And every time we notice that thing's not here yet, what are we painting on our new canvas?
Yeah.
Right. So, and the real solution to this is, whenever we're really attached to something, the reason we're attached to it is because there's some way we want to feel, oftentimes relief. We would feel relief if that thing showed up. And it's about finding the relief without that thing being there. And once you achieve the emotional state you want in that manifestation, then the detachment happens in an easy way.
Okay, so I guess I was feeling, yeah, the relief at the end of the day. I'm like, I literally can't do more. I've put out all the energy. I think I'm going in the right direction. It does feel good.
Awesome. So now your next step is working on your vibrational productivity.
Yes.
And your expectation.
Yeah. And
right? So for you, if
what feels frustrating is because it's a domino effect of links. So it's like, I want the clients because I want the lifestyle, because I want to get away this winter, because I want to work with clients. But
yeah, but remember, if you can become a vibrational match to the lifestyle, you don't need the clients. Right? So I would say remap out Kim 2.0, Kim 3.0, and you've done all the action out here that you could ever need to do. So now it's about embodying your 2.0, your 3.0, and just keep choosing, keep painting onto the new canvas.
Okay.
My new canvas is me in Bali. I'm going to Bali. In 2 months, I'm going to be in Bali. There's nothing stopping me from being in Bali. Bali in 2 months. It's done. It's happening. Nothing can stop me now because this is what I'm choosing.
Right.
Make sense?
It does.
Yeah, go back and listen to last week's recording where I talk about the guy that manifested the 100 million.
Yeah, I missed
the
that.
ABC Investments thing.
Yeah.
What he's doing, what I shared in that example, he was projecting onto his new canvas in such a powerful way, and that's something we can all do.
Okay, and you would do that in your morning practices, which I've gotten away from because I've been so busy.
Yeah, so I would say just go back to your vibrational productivity. And you can do it all day. So if you're working on 40 million, right? Do everything from the energy of 40 million. This is what it feels like to make coffee as a 40 millionaire. This is what it feels like to fill up my gas and my car as a 40 millionaire. This is what it feels like to take a piss as a 40 millionaire. Do it all from that energy of embodying that person who has it now.
Okay.
Cool?
Yeah, cool. Thanks.
All right, good stuff. All right, I don't see any other hands up. Anybody else have any questions? Just type the word question in the chat window. Oh, go ahead, Claudia. I see you waving there. Claudia, I don't know if your microphone is enabled.
Oh, hi. Sorry. Hi.
Oh, there you are. Okay, cool. There's two of you on the screen here in some freaky kind of way.
Really?
Go ahead and ask your question.
Okay. Things have been really good. And the past few days especially, I've received a lot of inspiration, ideas. And now I'm thinking, now what? I feel like I don't know what to do next. What should I do with all this information? I'm like,
Can you bask in the excitement of those inspirations?
I don't understand bask.
Bask, indulge.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. And, one of the ideas that came to me is it's all about my business. And I'm very excited to start. And I just don't know how, because.
Okay, if you don't know what your first action step is or your next action step is, do you want me to tell you what your current action step is until that next step shows up?
Okay, what? Do nothing?
Vibrational productivity, right? So your action step is keep dreaming about the success of this business.
Okay.
It's keep dreaming, keep tuning into how good all of its success feels. All the people that are going to show up, all the things you're going to do, keep painting the picture of what that looks like and see how detailed you can get. And just keep tuning into it more and more and more and more and more.
Okay.
I used to have the habit that I would jump into action too quickly when an idea would come in. And it would always peter out because it's almost like I was jumping ahead of the energetic momentum, right? So now this energy is building for this new business and you want to fuel it with all of these positive thoughts, all of these thoughts of success, all of these thoughts of abundance, of course, with the feelings too. Right? And as you continue to bask in that, as you continue to get more detailed, the next action step is going to find you.
Okay, thank you.
Is that an easy enough answer?
Sorry?
Is that an easy enough answer?
Yes,
Awesome, great.
thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, Nick, it's Kim.
Yeah, go ahead, Kim.
Bob Mundy in the chat keeps typing that he has a question.
Perfect. Where are you, Bob? Go ahead, Bob.
I'm right here. Yeah, because you said you didn't see any questions, so I typed it again.
Okay.
And Kim, if I have $40 million, I'm not making my own coffee. We'll go out. So a quick question, simple question. Like, what do we say when we want to, like, you mentioned like a money goal, you know, how do we put that out to the universe? Is there a certain format or way? It sounds kind of stupid, but.
Yeah, this is a bit of a tricky question. And the reason it's tricky is I kind of tell people not to focus on the money. So something I told Kim a second ago was, if you really want to travel to Bali and you have no money in your bank account, if you become a vibrational match to the experience of traveling there, then the universe is going to fill in the gap and make that show up, right? Same thing goes with anything. If I want to own a Ferrari, but I have no money in my bank account, if I become a vibrational match to owning a Ferrari, the money will automatically show up. So technically, we never, ever, 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 ever have to manifest money, because if we're a vibrational match to an experience, the money will become a cooperative element to that manifestation. Okay. Now, I also understand that people want to manifest the money because they want the relief of the bills and the debt and the collectors and all of that stuff.
Yeah, I want to see a lot of money in my bank account.
Yeah, so the key to that, you don't have to pick a certain amount. In my experience, you almost need to give physical reality a reason for the money to show up. So, for example, I just signed up to work with a high-end business guy, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. I was hesitant for a while. You know, the money to pay for that program wasn't quite coming in. And I just said, fuck it, I need this program. I'm doing it. It feels too good not to. I signed up, and literally within a week of signing up, a whole bunch of stuff flooded in, bringing in a whole bunch of money. So everybody's kind of busy trying to make the money happen, when in reality, what you should be doing is focus on the lifestyle. So for you, if you've got, you know, this dream of having this $1 million lifestyle, paint the picture of what that lifestyle is going to look like in as much detail as possible. So if you had an extra $1 million in your bank account tomorrow, would you take a trip around the world? If the answer is yes, start planning the trip. Would you go buy a luxury car? If the answer is yes, start shopping for luxury cars. So don't actually go out and physically spend the money you don't have, but take as much action as you can as if that money was already there.
Okay. I've done that. I mean, I manifested 2 CDs that way. I spent 30 years telling myself I couldn't record because I didn't have the money. And I finally said yes at 52 years old. And then a few weeks into the process, I realized I was going to get a huge tax refund, and that paid for 2/3 of the CD. And then the second amount of it, like suddenly my consulting job just slammed me with all this work. And I was like, I couldn't get it quick enough because I knew it was gonna pay for the CD, you know? And so I literally have done that, and it works.
And it's funny because with the collective, I used to charge, you know, thousands of dollars for group coaching programs. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to make it cheap. I'm going to make it less than $100 a month so people can get out of that cycle of, you know, not having the money for anything. Like, this is literally the most affordable, high-end law of attraction coaching program I can almost guarantee is out there, right?
I agree. But not only that, but you give you give the meat and potatoes in small, succinct little, you know, most of these things you look at, you know, it's 60 minutes and you get a little morsel and then you have to buy something. And what you do is fantastic, I think.
I'm not here for the fluff. I'm here for the results.
Amen.
Awesome. Good chat. All right, I see Kim Odine. Kim, go ahead with your question if you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. If you could speak up a little bit more, that'd be great, but I can hear you.
All right, I'll use my opera voice.
Great.
I'm looking for a little bit of confirmation. I've recently gone through a somewhat sudden death of a close loved one. And then suddenly I've found lots of small things go wrong around me. I've had rats in my tenant's house. My car windshield wipers aren't working. Just little things like that have happened. And I just want to know that that's just a little bit of energetic fallout.
Yeah, I would say it's my guess is those experiences might relate to a little bit of an emotion of like feeling stuck or powerless.
Okay.
So I would maybe look at, you know, how do those circumstances make me feel and where do I want to put my focus instead?
Well, I'd love them to be cleared up. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing, obviously, is dealing with it. But it's I feel like there's still a grieving process, and that this might just be part of it.
Yeah,
I don't
so
recommend rats when you're grieving, but
yeah, I mean, you know, we get to decide what means what, right? So the way we experience reality is we experience circumstances, and then we get to choose the meaning of circumstance. So I once had somebody call me up who said, "Oh, Nick, I just bought this house. I'm moving in tomorrow, and now I'm about to move in, but now I found out there's a crack here and there's water here and this and that problem, and the universe is giving me all these signs. I don't know what to do anymore. I think the universe is trying to tell me not to move in."
right.
And what I told her was that the universe doesn't give us signs in that way. So I told her that, you know, there's two parallel realities where you move into that house. There's the reality where you move in and everything falls apart. There's the reality where you move in and everything goes amazingly well, right? So as creators, every possibility, every reality always exists. And it's not about the universe trying to tell us and us hopefully listening to the right decisions. It's about us being empowered and deciding, this is what I'm choosing for my reality. This is what I'm going to focus on, and this is what I'm going to look like. This is what it's going to look like, and that's where I'm going to maintain my focus. So I would say for you, with these little things that are happening, maintain, you know, identify, you know, what the opposite of those are. So is it relief? Is it freedom? Is it ease? And just work on putting all of your focus on that.
Lovely. Okay, I really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Awesome, thank you. All right, I think I saw another hand go up somewhere, but maybe not. I'm clicking through. I don't see any word. Anybody else have any last questions? Oh, I see Vicky's got her hand up. Go ahead, Vicky. And again, in the meantime, if anybody else has a question, just type the word question in the chat window. Go ahead, Vicky. Oh, you're still muted. No, you're still muted. Hang on, Vicky, can you hear me? You're gonna have to. There we go. Now
I was on mute, sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
So I just wanted to add on to the last conversation. So now I'm a little confused as to whether I am creating my own reality or the universe is sending me signs, or is it the same thing? You know, sometimes I think this is the universe telling me this is not a coincidence.
Yeah, so my belief is the universe is guiding us through our excitement, but as creators, every outcome is always available to us. And I don't believe like everything we experience we're a vibrational match to. So the universe would never tell us not to experience something, because everything that comes at us is there to teach us something, to help us.
Okay, so is it like we have choices that we can make that are signs from the universe, and then we go, okay, I'll choose this, and then sometimes I feel like the universe is screwing me over, you know?
No, and it would never do that, right? So it's always about acknowledging I created this. So we create everything from a stub toe to a flat tire to a broke, you know, we create all of it, right? And, you know, as people who are learning to be full creators, you know, that can be tough and it can be challenging because we don't know how we're creating the things that we create most of the time, right? But as we continue in this work, as we continue to practice the art of creation, and as we get better and better at it, it becomes more and more and more magical, right? Okay. So as we're in the collective, you'll notice that there's what's the right word? Like a sloping upwards in momentum. There's a gradual increase in momentum because that momentum is ongoing. The more you notice the goodness, the more goodness shows up.
Yeah, yeah. So, for example, is this like, well, just to make it personal, but I'm not making it so personal. So I met this guy. It turns out he is a lawyer in a betting shop, if you understand what I mean by that. So since then, I've had so many conversations with betting shops. I've never thought about them in my life. And then I think to myself, is this the universe telling me that this guy is great for me? Or am I creating this?
Your focus is on betting shops, so you're going to see more betting shops. That's all it is. Right?
Okay.
That's, you know, if you set your intent, I'm going to go manifest a Ferrari, and you start seeing a bunch of Ferraris, like,
yeah.
It's just a sign that Ferraris are in your focus point right now.
So it's my focus point. Okay. Okay, cool, Nick. Thank you.
But we choose the meaning of circumstances. So if I'm seeing a lot of Ferraris, I can start telling myself, ooh, that means my Ferrari's on its way. That means I'm going to start owning a Ferrari soon. And then I can choose to express that on my canvas. We get to choose what circumstances mean to us.
Okay.
And we can choose meanings that serve us.
Yeah, but then the other day I was walking down the road and I saw this poor guy with a bicycle that he'd fallen off his bicycle. And I thought, have I manifested that? Because I've never thought about any poor guy on a bicycle.
You manifested the experience of witnessing the guy on the bicycle.
Right. Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome. Good stuff.
It's my point of focus. Okay.
Totally. Remember, our attraction point, the thoughts we think, the emotions we feel, and our focus point.
Okay, good. Thank you, Nick. Thank you.
Awesome. Good stuff. All right. Any other questions? Did we actually exhaust? Oh, I see Kiara has a question. Go ahead, Kiara. You're going to have to unmute yourself.
Hi, Nick. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Nice to hear from you again. Second one, you know that obviously I am very good. We met before, and I'm very good at obviously manifesting a lot of things in my life. But there's a job that's coming up that I really, really want, and I know it's earmarked for somebody else because of certain circumstances. I want to go for it, but I think and I know that a certain person will get it, and that's in my mindset right now that person is going to get that job that I want.
Okay, so if I understood correctly, there's a certain job that you're going for.
Yeah, sorry.
It's between you and the other person.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're more convinced. You're more convinced the other person's going to get it over you.
Yeah, yeah, which is so not like me, because normally I would be very, very, into doing my morning practice, into like writing everything down, into like my manifestations, everything. I'm really good at that, as you know. But this, I just can't get out of my head. This person going to get this job.
So what must I believe is true to feel like they're going to get it instead of me?
Because they've got a bit of an advantage, because the person that's interviewing them is a distant family member. Like my thoughts would be that they might share their interview questions, or they get more sharing. They've got more advantage than I have.
That advantage that you're describing right now,
yeah,
is minuscule compared to the advantage that you have. You want me to tell you the advantage that you have?
Go on.
You understand vibration. You understand law of attraction. You understand that you can simply choose it and have it by stepping into your power. Yes?
Yeah.
There's no advantage that can outplay that.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
So
I know this, yeah.
All you need to do is just choose it and be confident about it. Remember earlier in the call, I said to get on the hot seat, it's not, oh, I hope she picks me, I hope she picks me, but it's, I choose it, it's mine, it's my turn now.
Yeah.
That's what you want to do. Practice that certainty. Create that certainty. Don't let your inner critic talk you out of that certainty, and the job is yours.
Okay. Okay, thanks, Nick.
Great, thank you, Kara.
Love you.
Go ahead, Mina. I see you've got Mina. I'm so bad with names. You'll have to
Mina is correct. Hi, thank you so much. So I had a different question, but I think it was answered by somebody else. But then you said something that triggered me. You said we manifest, we create everything. And I had like a really rough childhood. And I'm wondering, how could I ever manifest all those hurtful things to happen to me as
Yeah, that's a very, very common question. The book that I recommend it's called Journey of Souls by Michael Newton. And what this guy does, he's an in-between life hypnotherapist. So what he did is he did thousands and thousands and thousands of cases where he brought people into hypnosis, into a past life, and he took them to a point in a past life where they were about to transition into the non-physical, and he would get them to describe what they were experiencing as they transitioned and when they were experiencing the non-physical. And so happened that a lot of people were all describing the same types of experiences. So in this book, he explains everything from soul families to the purpose of incarnations to why we come in experiencing these types of traumas. So that's the book I would suggest that you check out if you struggle with that. Does that help?
Well, I was hoping for an answer right now, like something like really.
I'll give you the direct answer is that at a soul level, we choose to come here with certain vibrational predispositions to experience certain things for our own growth. So for example, if you want to come in and you want to be the world's best addictions counselor, well, how do you become the world's best addictions counselor? Well, it's by having experiences relating to addictions growing up.
Oh, okay. All right. Could it be that, because I've been thinking on those terms lately, because some things simply do not make sense otherwise, unless you think there's before and after. So I was thinking, right. So could it be like I'm paying for past crimes?
No, it's never ever paying. It's nothing like that. It's your soul saying, okay, in what area of my soul's growth and my soul's expansion do I want to learn? Is it about unconditional becoming unconditional loving? Well, if it's about unconditional loving, then you don't learn about unconditional love by growing up with somebody that's easy to love.
Oh, wow.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it did.
Take some time to think about that. And I also want to remind you that our inner beings, they never look back. Our inner beings only look forward. They only look towards where we're heading, not where we've been.
So it's possible, even though my previous self chose that to begin my life with, I can not be a hostage to that and, have a better outcome.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for that. Also, I want to let you know who had anyway, it's about the financial aspect that I was telling you I was stuck. Somehow I'm not as stuck as I used to be.
Good.
But it's like this is happening, like it's so hard, it's like there's a loop there financially. Sure. Like I think, oh, this is it, this is the end of me. And then I just, instead of drowning, a little bit of money comes in. So now,
good.
But I'm not ever able to just get over it.
Remember that stuckness, just like lack, there's no such thing as lack. There's no such thing as stuck. There's only the experience of lack and the experience of stuck. And when you're perceiving yourself as stuck, you are not stuck. The process to the manifestation just isn't over yet.
Okay, so I'm in the, okay.
But the perception of stuck is keeping you in the process, right? So start practicing expressing onto your future canvas the feeling of freedom and the belief, I am moving forward, I am moving forward, I am moving forward.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes, thank you so much.
Good, thank you. All right, I see there's a question from Sarah. Go ahead, Sarah.
Hi, Nick.
Hey.
Hello. I'm wanting to ask about vicinity, about how to know when you're in the vicinity and how long you have to be there.
So how do you know you're close to manifestation?
Yeah.
I would say if you keep looking for it, then you're keeping it at a distance. So like a lot of people want to look for signs for manifestation, but what they don't realize is every time you look for a sign, what else are you noticing? Right?
That it's not there.
That it's not there.
So being in the vicinity is when you know, it's having a knowing, or
I would
just
say
that
you're in the
feeling,
vicinity when you can feel like you already have
feel
it.
it. Yep. Okay. You don't need it anymore.
Kind of. No, it doesn't mean no belief that you don't need it anymore. You still have a strong desire, but you don't care that it's not shown up yet.
Okay.
Does
Thank
that
you.
help?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thanks. Go ahead, Daniel. I think I saw you had your hand up a second ago.
I think it's related to a question someone else asked around, I forgot what it was now, but actually, so mine is, so there's some jobs I've applied for, basically because I want the money.
Yeah.
And so it was the other person who said they applied for a job and they didn't feel that they got it. I have the same thing. I'm applying for jobs which I don't really want. I just want the money. And obviously I'm not winning them. But initially when I do apply, there's a sense of, I might get this job, it might be fun. When I actually sit down, it's like, actually, I don't really want that job. It's not paying enough. And I can get there's some sort of belief going on, but I feel a bit kind of stuck here because there's probably some belief that I have to earn the money because it's the logical thing to do.
Yeah. So we obviously already know what you don't want, right? Which is to be unemployed and to have no money. So
yeah.
That's the unpreferred reality. What would you say the preferred reality is? What is it that you really want? As a creator of your reality who's fully in the power and can fully create anything they want, what do you want to create?
So I want the money.
Money aside, money is irrelevant. What do you want to create?
Either doing. All right. So what do I want to create? Want my bills paid. I want to have.
That's pushing against. That's pushing against. What do you want to create?
All right. Savings. Is that pushing against?
Does savings feel exciting to you?
Yeah, it feels. Yeah, I do. Yeah, it does.
Okay, cool. What
So
else?
Savings. I want to have. It's more about the opportunities. I want to have the money so that I can have the. It's not even necessarily wanting one thing, but it's more the choice and the freedom of being able to go on holiday, having savings, having money to play with, having money I can invest into things that I want. So I don't know specifically what I want, but I want the.
Here's the exercise. Here's the exercise I want you to do tonight or tomorrow. If you had $250,000 to play with,
you're
not allowed to save it, you have to spend it.
Okay.
What do you do with the money? Is it, if it's taking a trip, you plan out those trips. If it's putting money into ads to generate more clients, have fun planning that.
All right, okay.
But it's got to be fun and exciting. Everything you want. You see, here's the thing. Anytime something is fun and exciting, that's where our inner being is pushing us. Even if it's uncomfortable, it's pushing us there, right? So you want to plan to use that money in a fun and exciting ways in as much detail as possible, to the point where as soon as that money shows up, you're absolutely ready to spend it. That's the key to making the money show up. You need to give the universe a reason for it to show up.
Okay. What about having a safety cushion of cash? Is that also...
What with that safety cushion, how would it make you feel? Relief?
Yes.
Start practicing that feeling of relief.
Okay. Cool. All right. What about just if you don't have? So there's a few things that are specific, but actually, some is just having the freedom to just respond to opportunities that are undefined as yet.
So what would responding to opportunities look like?
Fun and adventure.
That's your focus. You need to be in the vibration of fun and adventure now. What can you go do right now that's full of fun and adventure? Could you go for a hike in the Alps? Could you walk down the street and go get an ice cream? Anything you can do to fuel the fun and adventure in your own life. See, the thing is a lot of us, we get caught in these loops of stagnation where we
Yeah.
keep living the same life over and over and over again. We keep making
Yeah.
the same decisions over and over and over again. We are never ever going to manifest something new unless you think differently, unless you feel differently, and unless you act differently.
Yeah. Okay. So actually another question, because actually most of what I want is actually around business. It's not actually about spending money. It's actually about making money. And it's actually the joy of just creating a business and having fun with it.
Awesome. Are you doing that now?
Yes.
Good. And what makes you believe that a whole bunch of money can't show up by doing that?
Sorry, say that again. Sorry.
What makes you believe that a whole pile of money can't show up or won't show up by you following your excitement in your business?
Oh, so I think it takes time, and it should be, and it takes time to make a business successful.
Oh, really? Is that just
That's
for you, or is that for me, or for everybody?
That's conventional advice.
Well, no offense, but this is not a conventional advice type place, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Here's the thing. You can choose to live life based on how society thinks you should live it, or you can, as a collective member that you are, you can choose to live life on the leading edge. And I can almost guarantee everybody on this call, living life on the leading edge and choosing leading edge perspectives and learning how to rely on the mechanism of synchronicity is a shit ton more fun than doing things the old way.
Yeah, I agree.
So my advice for you, Daniel, is how good can I feel? How much fun and excitement can I have in my business? And start expecting big things.
Okay, cool. I'll take that on.
Awesome.
Great.
And I want to get an update from you on the call next week too.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to hold
Cool.
you. I'm going to hold you accountable. So next week on our call, I'm going to bring you up and I want to see where you're at with this.
Okay. All right. I'll
Awesome.
do that.
Good stuff.
Thanks.
The number one benchmark is how much fun am I having, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. All right.
Same goes for you too, Kim. I want to know how much fun you're having my next call. Got it? Awesome. Okay, good chat, Daniel. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's see. Do we have any other hands up? I don't see any other hands up. All right, I guess that's it for our first call. As a reminder, we've got another call lined up for tomorrow. You can register for tomorrow's call again and come back. Out of curiosity, how many people found benefit in this call? How beneficial? Let's go on a 0 to 10 scale. 10 being awesome, 0 being I got no benefit at all. Type it in the chat window. 10, 10. I did awesome. Lots of good 10s. You guys are all collective members, though. That's a bias. 10, 8, 10, 10, 10. Awesome. Glad you guys enjoyed it. And again, how many of you guys would want to call like this every week? Say yes or no. Would you guys like a call like this every week? Okay, well, there is a call like this every week. We actually do 6 of these calls every month as part of the collective. If you want to get on the collective, again, nickbro.com/trial the collective. I can't recommend it enough. I'm sure everybody else on this call who's in the collective can't recommend it enough. We would love to see you join us. We have so much fun. And if you have any questions about that, shoot me a message. It's less than $100 a month, and I guarantee you will not find that much value anywhere else when it comes to learning to apply this stuff and get results. So once again, nickbro.com/trial the collective. Sam, I see Sam's like begging for one last. Let's take one last question from Sam. Go ahead, Sam.
Hi, Nick. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. I was trying to get your attention earlier, but I think we were on a roll, so.
It's okay. We'll squeeze you in. We got 5 minutes left. Go ahead.
Thanks. So my big question right now is, while you're working through the process of manifestation and while you're doing like your visualizations and you're feeling good, you know exactly what you want. So the let go process is like the hardest for most people. I know it is for me. So I'm in a point right now where I know exactly what I want. I'm gunning for it. My mind, my visualizations, everything. I know exactly what I want, but I just can't seem to let it go. I'll tell myself, I want to let it go. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to delete Snapchat. I'm going to delete my Facebook Messenger so I don't have to see it, so I can trust the universe and know that whatever I want, so I don't have to look at all these things. It'll bring me down. I know exactly what I want. And then the next day I'll wake up and I'm like, okay, time for me to manifest again. And I'll just keep doing the same thing over and over. And I don't know if how many times, I'm not going to say how many times should I try to manifest something, because I know I really should only have to ask once and just believe. But like, I also feel like I sound like my 3-year-old son who's like, mommy, can I have these chips? No. Can I have these chips? No. Can I have these chips? No, not right now. Not right now. Right now. And I just keep feeling like I'm sounding like I'm nagging. And I don't really know how to get past that.
So getting over the detachment and the letting go, the first thing is about an understanding that the reason somebody becomes obsessed with a desire and has a hard time letting go is because you're dependent on that desire, at least from an intellectual standpoint. You've allowed yourself to become dependent on that desire to feel good. So you believe that you can't achieve that feeling state that you want to achieve until that manifestation shows up.
Okay. So basically, it's just my mindset right now is I've become obsessive. Whenever I'm thinking I'm letting go, in reality, I'm actually becoming more obsessive.
Yeah, so the way most of society operates is our circumstances dictate and define our emotional state, right? So, you know, the mindset might be, oh, I can't be happy unless I have that X back. And then you become obsessed with that X because there's a part of you that believes that that person is the only path to happiness.
Okay. I was like, yeah, because I was like, I've gone as far as to delete like certain, apps on my phone, or like take down affirmations that I had like up on my walls and be like, you know what, I'm just not going. It's like, I know this is going to work. I know this is going to happen. I'm just going to take this down so I don't have to keep reminding myself and seeing it. But the next morning I'm just like, okay, well, let's do our meditation and manifestation. And then I'm like, well, I keep asking for the same thing even whenever I'm not trying to.
And this goes back to you're trying to fix it out here when it needs to be fixed from within. And I don't like the word fix because fix implies broken and nothing's broken.
Yeah.
But it's just about you having the awareness that you are dependent on that circumstance to feel good. And you need to figure out why you don't feel good when you don't have that thing, and then work through that emotional state. And once you can get to yourself to the point where you feel good, even if that thing is missing, that's when that thing will show up.
See, we've talked about this before, you and I, and we came down to it was me not feeling good enough. And so I was trying to work on that, and I've been working on that. I just feel like I'm still feeling, and you touched on this earlier, but I still feel quote unquote stuck. Yeah. Even though now I know that it's not really, there is no stuckness. It's just me still working through a manifestation process that's not here yet.
Yeah. So do you remember those key probing statements I gave earlier?
Yes.
I believe this is true because, or I feel this way because.
Yes.
Use those statements on the stuckness and on the not good enough.
And even if it's like, I feel this way because I'm like, can I have an example? Because I feel like I would just go into a negative mindset this way. Well, like I feel this way because my parents didn't love me as a child or something.
Right, and then you ask it again. So it's a recursive process, right? And this is one of the recordings in the collective. We go through this whole process and I teach it across 1 or 2 calls. So like so you might be like, I'm not good enough. So say what you just said again.
Oh, I feel this way because my parents didn't love me or want me as a child.
Yes, and I feel that way because, so then you ask it again. And then it's going to take you a level deeper. And then you ask it again, and then it's going to take you a level deeper. And eventually you'll get to the bottom of the chain of perspectives. And once you get to the bottom and you shift that bottom perspective, what's above it is all going to unravel.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a recursive process.
Well, thank you. I was like, because I was really starting to worry that I was, messing something up. I was like, I'm going to mess this up and it's never going to happen. And I don't know why I'm doing this.
Nothing is impossible to clear. It's just, you need to work through the layers. The way emotions are stored, it's kind of like a tree structure where you kind of have to get to the bottom of the roots and then work your way back up. And again, this is working on this stuff for yourself is not a simple process. There's a reason that when I work with clients, it takes 3 months, and I do this stuff with people full time for the last 5 years, right? doesn't mean it's not possible. But when it's our own stuff, sometimes it's like we're stuck in the muck a little bit. And and again, one of the advantages of the collective is you can maybe team up with somebody to practice this stuff with each other.
Okay.
Cool.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Thanks.
All right, that's it, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for everybody who participated. Hope to see some of you guys on tomorrow's call. I hope this was enlightening. Lots of shifts, and have a good evening, everybody. Bye for now.